Now, let us move to question number 13. The 3-day trip that India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi made to China is seen in some quarter as a chance to reset the relationship between Asia's two giants. So, here the 3-day trip that India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi made, is there any correction required? It seems there is no correction required, as it is the initiative or an action that is being taken by the Prime Minister of the country. Now, let us see part B. To China is seen in some quarter. So, since a country has more than one quarter, so obviously it should be taken as quarters and not quarter. So, to China is seen in some quarters as a chance to reset the relationship, rather than saying some quarter as a chance to reset the relationship. So, the correction is required in part B of this statement. Now, let us move to question number 14. The charred bodies of two women were recovered from a burning pile of dried cow dung at Sultanpur village. Is there any correction required? Let us see the first part of the statement. The charred bodies of two women. Will it be the charred body of two women or the charred bodies of two women? So, here a correction is required, as it should be the charred bodies rather than saying charred bodies. Let us move to question number 15. With so many options lined up in this competitive world, one has to watch out for a proper specialization and a suitable institute before deciding of anything. So, if you see the statement, let us take the first part. With so many options lined up, is there any connection required? I don't think so, because it's conveying a proper meaning. So, now let us move to the second part. In this competitive world, one has to watch. That means one has to observe. Here too, there seems to be no correction required. So, let us go to the next part. Out for a proper specialization and a suitable institute. A proper specialization and a perfect institute before deciding of anything. That means before taking a decision. So, in all these four parts, there seems to be no correction required, and it's better to choose option E, that is no error. Now, let us move to question number 16. A total of 10 blocks will be on offer in the third round of coal auctions, which will take place between August 11 and 17th. So, what does the statement say? A total of 10 blocks will be on offer in the third round of coal auctions, which will take place between August 11 and August 17th. Is there any correction in this required in this? So, now if you see, a total of 10 blocks will be on offer, the first part, there seems to be no correction. Same way in the second part, in the third round of coal auctions, yes, there is some auction expected to take place. Even there, no correction is required. And now, which will take place between? So, here too, no correction is required. Now, let us take the fourth part, August 11 and August 17th. Will it be August 11 and August 17 or August 11th to August 17? Okay. So, which will take place between August 11 to August 17 rather than August 11 and August 17. So, 2 should be replacing and here. Let us move to question number 17. The layoffs come among the continued debate over the immigration reform in the US, as the temporary work visas are at the center of a fierce debate in Congress. Here, if you see the first part, the layoffs come among the continued debate, doesn't seem to convey a proper meaning, because layoffs come of a particular situation or over a particular situation. So, here among is trying to mention about more numbers, but that is not the case. Here it is part of a debate, and among should be replaced with amid. The layoffs come amid the continued debate over immigration reform in the US, which will be more appropriate, and among has to be replaced with which is the right choice. Now let us move to question number 18. Economic clause typically aims at balancing competing interests of various stakeholders as well as interests of government departments charged with implementing such laws. So, whether any changes required in this first part. Economic laws typically aims at balancing competing interests. So, it should be aim rather than aims. Economic laws typically aim at balancing rather than saying aims at. So, it's not plural and it should be singular, that is aim. Now, let us move to question number 19. To provide two special economic zones exclusively for Indian investor is a clear reflection of Bangladesh's positive intent. So, is there any change required in this statement? To provide two special economic zones exclusively for Indian investors. So, instead of saying to provide, it should be providing two special economic zones exclusively for Indian investors is a clear reflection of Bangladesh's positive intent. So, to provide should be replaced with providing, which will make the meaning more perfect or with clarity. Now, let us move to the next question. Question number 20. On a separate occasion, the High Court rapped the Director General of Police for forwarding a complaint against Raj to the state government, instead ordering an inquiry into it. So, what should be the right thing? So, here if you see in first statement or first part of the statement, there seems to be no correction required, as on a separate occasion the High Court rapped, which is meaningful, and in second part the Director General of Police for forwarding a complaint. Even here there is no correction required, and in third part against Raj to the state government, that means addressed to the state government, and in option D instead ordering an inquiry into it. So, here is there any change required in question number part D of question number 20? So, we can say that instead ordering an inquiry into it, it could be instead of ordering an inquiry into it. The comparison should be made with of instead of ordering an inquiry into it. So, correction is required in part D of the statement. So, that will be the right choice. Now, let us move to question number 21. My elder brother is planning to go abroad as soon as he will retire in December next year. So, first part of the statement, there seems to be no correction required. That is, my elder brother is planning. Yes. Next, part B, to go abroad. Even here, there seems to be no error. And in part C, as soon as he will retire. So, is there any correction required in this part? Instead of saying as soon as he will retire, we can say that as soon as he retires. So, will retire has to be replaced with retires. As soon as he retires in December next year, so he will go abroad. So, that should be the case. So, correction is required in part C of the statement. Now, let us move to question number 22. A look at the migration data suggests that the number of deaths do not necessarily indicate the crisis that is being described. So, is there any correction required in part A of the statement? A look at a migration data suggests, it seems there is no correction required. Let us see part B, that the number of deaths do not. Is it the correct wording or correct preposition being used? So, we can say that number of deaths with. Let us move to question number 22. A look at migration data suggests that the number of deaths do not necessarily indicate the crisis that is being described. So, if you see the first part, a look at migration data suggests, it seems there is no change required, which is correct. And if you see second part, that the number of deaths do not. So, is any correction required in this part? Yes. So, we need to simply replace do with does not, that the number of deaths does not necessarily indicate rather than do not. Okay, so the correction is required in part B of the statement.